few days ago, I woke up with a message where it says, "Shut off what's on your mind. What's in your heart must be written." And I feel like this is a message of you you having a very cluttered mind, because the way the message feels to me, the way it hits me is like you have a lot of things going on in your mind. And because you have a lot of things going on in your mind, you like there is a sense of longing to have that kind of clarity, longing to have some kind of peace, because only when you find clarity will you find peace. And I feel like what's in your heart must be written. So whatever is in your heart needs to be written in whatever means and form. So what does that mean? So when you write something, it's like becoming the bridge from the ether to the real. Okay, so it's like it doesn't have to be like you have to write a book. Maybe you can write a post, maybe you can write an article, maybe you can write a song, maybe you can write something, a film, short film, I don't know, but whatever is in your heart must be written. So that means like there is a calling for you and me to be able to shut off our minds for a little bit, even for a little few minutes, just to explore what's really in our hearts. Because all these years, I feel like all these years you have been listening to your mind, and by following your mind all these years, I feel like you have a lot of things going on inside you, but there's no outlet, or there's no sense of expression, which is what your heart craves. So let's see if what message you have, like what else is there. I mean, I want to know what's on your mind. I mean, what do you feel? How do you feel about things? And how do you like what is really stopping you, or what is really bothering you these days? So I want to know if, because when I received the message, when I woke up, the moment I woke up, I felt anxious, dysregulated, and I know that this is not my emotion, because I know what I want, and I know there is clarity in what I want. But in the last few days since this message hit me, it felt like my mind is clouded. So I feel like this is you being in a cloud state where you really don't know where you're going, or you don't know, maybe you really have no idea of where this life goes to. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, like how can you shut off your mind? Really, how can you shut off your mind? Because like only when you shut off your mind will you hear your heart. So but since your mind is always at work, so how can you hear your heart? Right? How can you hear your heart? See a lot of twos. Two, 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 and five. So there is a emphasis of partnership, collaboration, or this could also be like, yeah, like sense of balance between isolation and social, or being alone and being with somebody. And since this is like a lot of twos, I want to see, like, because this is five, there is a like to shut off what's on your mind. I guess what's on your mind right now is a desire for change. But then what's in your heart, since twos came out of the dice in threes, that means like you are actually longing for partnership. And but I want to know what's on your mind. I mean, in your heart, I didn't expect this to be a love reading. But what's in your heart is like you're yearning for partnership. Maybe it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be platonic or whatever. But like What's in your heart is relationship. What's in your heart is you want to build connection. You want to build collaboration. You want to invite collaboration. You want to invite people. You want a sense of community within your space. But that requires change. And by doing that change means you have to take a big, bold step. To take a big, bold step to get that very thing that you want, which is change. And that change will bring you to that space where you can finally write what's in your heart. So how will you find what's in your heart? Because I feel like there is a dysregulation. There is a sense of lack of partnership in your life. There is a lack of partnership in your life, and you're craving for that connection or sense of community within your space. And I have been repeating that 4, 5, and 2 again. There is change and stability, and then a sense of partnership. I feel like you're the kind of person who will only find stability when you're with somebody. I feel like you're the kind of person who only thrives. It doesn't mean that you are codependent or so, but you thrive better if you are working with someone, if you are collaborating with someone. And as a collaboration to so sense of collaboration, only when you find collaboration and partnership will you find stability, and by doing so you need to change. So what's actually in your heart is you want to find a partner. You want to find a that divine counterpart, you could say. Like you want to be with someone who has the same energy as you. You want to be with someone who could understand you, who could reciprocate the energy that you offer to this person. So whether you're a man or woman, regardless of the sex, regardless of the gender and all, this is about you being able to find tranquility in a sense where in a sense where you can find reciprocation, give and take, healthy give and take in a relationship. And I feel like right now you are not in that space, or you're about to get in that space, or you're ready to be in that space. And because shutting off one's mind means you have to go solo, because you cannot shut off your mind if you're surrounded by your friends. You cannot shut off your mind when you're surrounded by people. You cannot shut off your mind if you're surrounded by stimuli, for example. Only when you're alone and when you're in silence will you find that space where you can really see your thoughts floating in your mind. When you're in meditation, when you're in prayer, when you are in that state, will you find that space where you can really see how you really think about things, how you really actually behave in certain circumstances. And only when you do such things, so that means a sense of change in your lifestyle, sense of life, change in your habits, change of relationships. And because I believe when you have the courage to, only when you find a that sense of fulfillment, if you can achieve this level of when you find that someone or something that gives you life in return. Because I believe you are the kind of person who gives your all to something. You are the person who always gives your heart to anything and to anyone. But because you right now you're not really in that state, you're not really in that state where you feel like you receive equally, then it's like you're called to do some self-introspection by shutting off your mind and being able to access what's in your heart. So that means maybe being able to journal, write your journal, do your shadow work. And if you like to go into shadow work, I have playlists, I have videos of them. So you can go to my playlist and check them out, how I do shadow work on my own and how I did that for the last 3 years. And if that's the route that you like to do, then you can head over my playlist and you can check them out. So only when you do the shadow work and you do your work will you find that avenue or channel for you to find what's in your heart actually. Maybe it's painting. In my case, it's novel, it's fiction. So be it a short story, novella, novel, series, I don't know, as long as it's fiction, where I can use my pain and transform my pain into power, just like how I did with my upcoming book, Strokes of Desire, Cult of Eros #1. This is an example of my shadow work, which this book was written for 3 years. And for 3 years, it's a continual shadow work where I write my thoughts and feelings in a journal. And after that, I process them, use them, and place them in the novel. So that's how that's one of the avenues I have to transform my pain into power. So in your case, I don't know what method you choose, whether it's painting, music, singing, moving, I don't know, like it, but the point is it must be written. So like writing must be done. So you can there are many ways to write. I feel like the writing here is the medium, the tool where you can bring out something what's in your heart into the real. Okay. So let's see what else will come out. So we have 12th house, Uranus, and Sagittarius. So this is really calling, this is about, I don't like to say radical change, but this is a call for you to expand, to become a magnet of abundance, miracles, luck, optimism, all these things. There is a call for you to know and go deep within, because 12th house is the unconscious, the house of the unconscious sorrows and wishes. So whatever you don't know but yourself has to be revealed and has to be expressed in a way where it can benefit the mankind. It can benefit not only you but other people as well. So it's calling you and me, it's calling you to expand. It's calling you to, because as I said before, like, to shut off what's on your mind, what's in your heart must be written. It's like the call for you to expand, because we're still in Sagittarius as of filming. We're still in Sagittarius, and because we're still in Sagittarius, we are asked to reflect on how we can embody Jupiter's energy in our daily lives. So that means how we can expand, how we can become the vessel of luck, optimism, expansion, just like Jupiter, and being able to express that properly in the real life, in the real setting, in the physical, tangible earth. And by doing that, it is also calling us to accept or to be willing, more than willing, to accept change in a way where it opens up new possibilities, innovations, and less stuck. Because Uranus is a lightning kind of energy. Like, this is a surprise motherfucker kind of energy. Surprise motherfucker. So it's like, what I feel like what's in your heart is something that will cause something like that. I mean, some kind of reaction where, surprise motherfucker, you don't expect this from me. So there is some sense of, there's that strong sense of you coming from you, that wanting to express something but you cannot, and it's also like you have this wanting to travel. So there's a sense of travel where you kind of, you yearn something where you kind of want to explore. There's a sense of yearning to explore, adventure, and like adventure. 12 Uranus and Archer. Yeah, like, where was I? like there is what's in your heart. What's in your heart is actually like you want to experience a sense of exploration. You want a sense of adventure, but you don't know where it is. You don't know how to do it. How to know where to start. But in your unconscious, you know this is boiling up inside you. There's a sense of, I want to go somewhere. I want to know something. I want to expand my knowledge. I want to expand my experiences. Whatever it is that you're called to do. And to do that, you have to shut off what's on your mind. What's on your mind? I mean, what's on your mind? Like, no. Like, what's on your mind? What's going on? What's the confusion? Why are you feeling like this? Why is the collective feeling like this? Spirit, why is the collective feeling like anxious, confused about something, or options? You have a lot of options. You're distracted. You're distracted. So you have here 7 of Cups. So I have here 7 of Cups. You're distracted. You see the man. You see the man with a lot of options there. And it's kind of not really able to find, there's no sense of clarity. You're like scatterbrained. You have a lot of options. And because you have a lot of options, you have a lot of eyes to look at. And because of this distraction, a sense of distraction, you're kind of called to do, like, I see 7. 7 is a hermit number, and because it's like there is like, and also 7 is also a house of Libra, house of partnership. So like I said, two before, like the dice, you remember the dice saying 2 where it's partnership, and I see 7 as a, like, this is, I'm seeing Libra in my mind. This is where you are called to look at your relationships, your partnerships, even your marriage. So even your marriage, relationships, partnerships, collaborators, there's a sense of like, because you have a lot of options, and maybe because you're you have so many options, a lot of distractions going on, you're called to do solo, not in a way where you go hermetic mode, you go solo adventure, not necessarily, but it's like it's a call for you to go within. It's a call for you to listen to what's in your heart. And by doing and to do that, you have to be at least alone within like an hour or so. You go somewhere where you can think of something. You can be alone with your thoughts and be with yourself, you know. And yeah, I mean, like, you're so distracted. What's on your mind? You're so distracted. You have a lot of options. And we have here Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles, and feels like because you have a lot of options, you feel like no one's really caring about what you think, because I feel like this is in reverse. Yes, the Three of Pentacles, you see the figure there, and that's like they're offering something but no one's caring about. And I feel like because like you have a lot of options, you kind of miss what's the point. You kind of miss what's the point, and because you miss what's kind of the point, then you're kind of lost. So that's why you have to go deep within. You have to go solo. You have to pray. You have to meditate. You have to do something that that resets your system, where you can really access what's in your heart. And to shut off your mind means you have to be less distracted. You have to be less distracted, and you have to know what you offer. You have to know what you offer, okay? You have to know what you offer. What can you offer to the world? What can you offer to others? What can you offer to yourself? If you can't even offer that to yourself, then how can you think of what to offer for the universe, for the earth, for the humanity, if you don't even know what to offer for yourself, right? So what else? So what else do we need to know, Spirit? There's a sense of clinging, attachment, attachment to something. And I see the nine. Oops, it flew. Nine of wands. I see Nine of Wands, and when we see Nine of Wands, that means like you're clinging to attachment. Like you have, like this is like, because you have a lot of options. Okay, I see the wands as options. Because one wand means one action. One action. It's like plan A, plan B, plan C, D, E, F, and so on. That's how I see it. And then, because like out of all the options, you have this. Okay, and because you have, this is like what you want, this is what you want to achieve, this is what you want, although you're holding it already, you're still looking to the other options. It's similar to this card where you already have your eyes on something, but you still have your attention to somewhere else. So although you already have the answers right in your hands, you still look for somewhere else. You still kind of distracted. So how can you know what's in your heart if you really can't shut off what's on your mind? Maybe you're distracted. You don't know. You don't know what can you offer. You don't know what you can offer because you're way too distracted from different options you have. And because you have a lot of options in your hands right now, that means like you have an excuse of not doing something maybe. But then deep inside you have a lot of stuff going on. Like you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to do this, you want to do that. But then actually what's in your heart is like you just want to be heard. You just want to be understood. Maybe you just want to collaborate. You just want to feel important. You just want to feel needed. You just want to feel a sense of harmony, belongingness, stability. But because you have so much distractions going on around you, you don't know what to do, which is the first step. What else? Spirit team. So I'm getting, actually this is my new cards. The green witch deck, oracle deck, the green witch oracle deck. And so I hope the message makes sense to you. I hope the message makes sense to you. Because to me, I also can relate. I feel like this message is also for me because I tend to overthink. I tend to overanalyze. I tend to have a lot of things going on because I'm not just reading oracles, reading tarot, or I'm not just writing. I also have other things to do. I also have other lives to do. It's like I have I have a handful of performative roles to do. Excuse me. And then because I have a lot of performative rules to do, it's necessary for me to have a sense of balance. And that means I also have to recognize the need for collaboration and partnership. I can't just be doing things alone, you know? Like although I know I can do a lot of things, but I still have to do a lot of I still need to feel a sense of partnership and equality within the relationship, right? Because that makes it fair. That makes things fair. And it's easier to shut off for me, personally speaking. It's easier for me to shut off my mind when I know that my partner can take on the weight and ease my burdens. Like for example, like if my partner can take on the dishes, for example, or can, like, if let's say if I'm hungry and if I'm not really in the mood to do something, he can take on the task for me. Or if I can't really do grocery, then he can go grocery for me. It's not like being a codependent or whatever. It's like a sense of equality. Because like in a relationship, for example, just to give a just for an example, like since we're talking about what's shutting off, what's on my mind and what's on your mind, so just to give you an example, so for me, just the best way for me to shut off my mind is when I know that I feel reassured that my tasks, my burdens are being are eased by another person. If the other person will take on some stuff, some tasks in my belt and can do help me in whatever ways he can, that makes me feel like I'm loved, I'm cared. I feel a sense of stability, unlike just me manning up all the time, me having to do all things because that was me before. I can do things alone. It's better to be alone. But right now, like these days, since the healing process, I recognize that there is a need for collaboration because two heads are better than one, right? So immediately I see the tend, maintenance, encouragement, and guidance. See, tend. They're actually big cards. So you see these beautiful cards? They look so nice. Which one? Like, you see that? Oops, should we go? That one. It looks so nice, right? They're illustrated by Sarah Richard. This is from Aaron Murphy Hiscock, author of The Green Witch. So let's try. So what do we have so far? Let's do a quick recap. The message, we open the message with shut off what's on your mind, what's in your heart must be written. So there is a call for us to give the sense of collaboration, because we feel maybe like you feel like you are like isolated. You feel like you crave for a sense of partnership, a sense of belonging, a sense of community, because you feel like isolated from your soul tribe, from the people who can really understand you and accept you for who you truly are. And I feel like there is a need of the sense of exploration and adventure. And only when you find find the sense of exploration, adventure, will you find that expansive feeling brought by Jupiter. And we also know that because you are also distracted from so many things, that means that there is a lot of, you could say, little demons. You could say little demons trying to get your attention. They're just trying to stray you away from what you were meant to do or intend to do. For example, like you plan to go outside, but then you have this, you have that, someone called you, a lot of little demons, and because like you crave for, it's like a challenge for you too to handle such stuff. It's also part of the challenge to handle such things, because this is part of, like we call it social politics. You can't just say, it's up to you, okay? It's up to you how you handle such stuff. But me, if you ask me, I'm a bit brutal. If I don't like the meat, then I don't like the meat. It's a sense of respect. If you respect me, then you respect my time. If I say I don't have time for you, then it's not being offensive and rude. It's being honest and factual. That I don't have time for you now because, well, I'm busy and have a lot of things to do or whatever. But for some people, to most people, it's offensive because they expect you to have time all the time. But I don't have. Like, and it's being true. Should I lie to you? So that's not the thing. That's not my thing. I rather hurt you with the truth than tell you a lie, just for the sake of harmony and peace. So we have here mushroom, recycling and breaking down problems. So we have here the mushroom. Okay, it's kind of cool. I like the illustration. Mushroom. Oh my gosh, what's on my mind really? Mushroom. It's like going like, wow, I don't want to talk about that stuff, about that kind of mushroom. Anyway, we also have moth. Moth, which means mystery, concealment, and illusion. Okay. So, mushroom. Okay. And I see the insects, the moths or so. You see that? That little thing there, the insects, and they kind of look same. You see? I don't know if you could notice that one and this one. So cool. I mean, this just confirms what we said before, like the illusion of you being okay when you're not. The concealment of your true feelings, what's in your heart, and how it contradicts to actually what's on your mind. And what's on your mind contradicts what's in your heart, vice versa. And that creates the mystery. So that means like, and if you actually want to see something, some change in your life or some positive change, then there is a need for breaking down, or like recycling. When you recycle something, you pick up the trash and transform it to something beautiful, transform it to something magical for the humanity, for which can be beneficial, which, although it's painful and all, maybe like you're using, like your heart is full of pain. That's why you shut off what's in there. That's why you listen to your mind. And because you've been listening to your mind, you feel like it's safe to listen to your mind than to your heart, because with your heart will tell you what you don't want to hear. And because you don't want to hear anything about your heart and what's in your soul, what's your heart and soul are telling you, then it's better to shut them up. But now it's a call, because you're now feeling like you are in a search. You want some sense of adventure. You want some sense of adventure. You want some sense of exploration. Then how can you achieve that if you're stuck? How can you achieve that if you're compartmentalized by your limited, rigid thinking? And because you are also being called to transform, expand like a moth, like the wings of the moth. And the moth is attracted to light. And that means like they attract to the light attracts the moth. So you have to have a clear focus. This is what you want, and this is what I want. Then this is what I want. This is what I will get. I will get what I want. But because because you have so many distractions going on, although like you have so many distractions going on, and because you have so many distractions going on, you cannot really unfold the mystery that's behind this thing going on inside you. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say so far, like in this reading, but like it's easy to say that you need a friend, but because personality wise, maybe you're not the type who you don't know yourself enough in such extent that you kind of feel confused whether you're really extroverted or not, just because you have this yearning to be social or yearning to be in connection with someone. But it's not about being extrovert and introvert. And by the way, we already have autrovert. Autроverts are not introvert and not extroverts. So if you belong to the third class, the third type of personality types, regardless, all of us need connection. All of us need some kind of harmony. All of us need some partner in our life. And all of us, regardless of your background, race, age, all of us will want some kind of equality and reciprocation with anything, because it's energy. You offer some energy, you also want to receive energy. But because right now I feel like you're not receiving enough of it, you are yearning for something or someone that could do that for you. So that means like you are open, you are willing to be open for change, to expand your horizon, to travel, and to find a sense of exploration, adventure. And because only when you have these things, when you're not distracted, when you're less distracted from from the options you have right now, then you will have a sense of clarity, a sense of stability, and sense of happiness in general. So I hope that this message resonates with you, and I hope that you will find some clarity within yourself. Because I feel like in today's reading, I feel like there is a need for you to go within, examine what's actually going on. Ask yourself, are you feeling this? instead of denying it. Instead of denying it, you acknowledge it and ask yourself why you're feeling like this. Because this is how you can connect your mind and your heart. Okay? By allowing your mind to ask questions from your heart and allowing your mind to listen to what your heart says. Do you understand? Okay, so if you do, I invite you to go to my website, mgaspary.substack.com, if you'd like to know more about me and whatever I do for a living and for life. You can go to my Substack and you see updates, whatever I write and share there. And what else? Don't forget to get a copy of my book, Strokes of Desire, and this will be available this coming December 31, 2025 across ebook stores worldwide. So I guess that's it for today, and I hope that you will have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one. I love you and I care for you just as much as I care and love myself. And I really wish you well. I really wish you well, and I really wish you clarity. Okay? So see you in the next one. Cheers.